here. I here.
Alrighty. Welcome in, everyone. Happy Monday. Alrighty, we're going to be doing this GED graphing equations. So if you know anybody that's been struggling to pass the math part on the GED, please share this with them. Double tap that screen and share this live for me. And let's get started. So it's number 1 says place the letters of the coordinates on the appropriate point on the graph. Okay. So let's look at how to plot points. Okay. So remember A, you always start with an X, then a Y. So the X is going to go left or right, and then the Y goes up and down. Okay. So if we're looking at A, okay, start at 0, 0. You're going to go over 5, and then the Y tells you to go up 5. So this would be A. Okay. B, if we have 10, 1. Okay. So remember, we're going positive 10. We're going to start at 0, positive 10. And then we're going to go up 1. So this will be B. Okay. C, 0, 0. 0, 0 is right. This is called the origin. Okay. For those who do not know, this is called the origin. And so this would be C. It's in the center. And then 10, negative 1. So if we go over to 10, this tells us to go down 1. So this would be D. All right. Can you guys put in the chat? Welcome, welcome. Can you guys put in the chat what quadrant is E in? So we're looking at E. Can you guys put, is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? Where am I plotting E at? Thank you for the follow, Sandra. Aaron said 2, 4. Okay. Okay. So remember, we're going to go, this tells me I'm going to go left, then I'm going to go up. Okay. So I'm starting at 0. I'm going to go left 5 and then up to the positive 5. So this is going to be in quadrant 2. Great. Okay, so left 5, up 5. All right, what about F? Where is F at? Is it in 1, 2, 3, or 4? Okay, Leslie said 3, 3. We got a 4, 3, 3, 3. Okay, all right, let's check it out. So I'm going left first, negative 5, and then this tells me I go down 5. So I'm going to start at 0, 0. I'm going to go left, negative 5, and then I'm going to go down to negative 5. So good. If you said 3, 100% good. Great job. All right, let's go to G. Negative 2, 10. So negative 2, go over 2, down to 10. So this is going to be G. H, we go left negative 8 and down 2. So this is H. What about I? Where would you guys say I is in? Is it in 1, 2, 3, or 4? If we're plotting I. Welcome in, everyone. Happy Monday. 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay. I see a lot of 4s. Wonderful. Hey, the only. All right. So we're going to go to the right and then down. So I'm starting at 0, 0. I'm going to go right 5 and then down 5. And so this is going to be my I. Great job, everyone who said 4. Good job. Good job. All right, let's go. Now, these are the tricky ones, right? Because these are called intercepts. So let's look at J. Where would you guys say J is on? Is it on the x-axis or the y-axis? Okay, y-axis. Aaron said y-axis. Okay. Y-X. We got an X. We got Y-Y. Y-Y. Okay, so We start at 0. This tells me to go up 5. So as you see here, this is our J. This is called the y-intercept, which is very important when you're talking about equations, linear equations. Okay. How long do I be on live? It just depends on how many problems I have to go through. But, yep. So I don't have a set time. Okay, 50. Okay, so let's look at 50. So we're starting, remember, so this tells us we go to the right 5, and then we're not going anywhere. We're not going down, we're not going up. So I'm just going to go left 5, boom. And so this is called my x-intercept because it's on my x-axis. Okay, so this is K. And this is called the x-intercept. All righty. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so let's go to number 2. Sorry, you guys. I see number 2 is a little bit off the screen. So it says, given a line whose equation is y equals -1/4 x plus 7, which line below definitely forms part of a right triangle with the given line? Okay. So which line below definitely forms a part of a right triangle? So what they're asking us, remember, if we want a right triangle, that means we want 2 lines that are perpendicular. That means they form a 90-degree angle. So what do you guys say? Would you guys say the answer is A, B, C, or D? Okay, we have D, we have B. Good, okay, nobody's saying C. Okay, D. Okay, so let's talk about perpendicular slopes, okay? So this, if you see this symbol, that means perpendicular, okay? And what you have to understand about perpendicular slopes is that they have to be opposite signs, and they have to be flips of each other, which is called reciprocals. So first, the thing that we have to look at is what is the slope from the given equation? This is the slope right here. The slope is always next to the x. So my slope from this equation is going to be -1/4. Well, if I want my perpendicular slope, I'm looking for the flip of this, which is 4/1. And then I'm looking for the opposite sign of negative. It has to be a positive. So 4 divided by 1 just gives me 4. So I'm looking for the equation that has a 4. And D is the only one that has a positive 4 as its slope. So these two will be perpendicular and form that right angle, right triangle. Okay. Any questions? Thank you for the follows. Can everybody take a second? Can we get some double taps on the screen, please? Okay, let's keep on going. Okay, number 3. Oh, thank you, Art Granny, for the roses. Thank you, thank you. So number 3, in the box associated with each line, place the correct slope. Okay, thank you, Follow Me, for the roses. All right, so here goes our choices. So we have -7/3, -1/3, 0, 1/10, 2, and undefined. All right, so if I'm looking at, let's do the vertical line. If I'm looking at this line right here, what do you guys say? What do you guys say that the slope is? Is it -7/3, -1/3, 0, 1/10, 2, or undefined? What's the slope of vertical lines? Does anybody know? Okay, we got a 0, 0, 0, undefined. Okay. Yes, it is undefined. So vertical lines are undefined. Okay, they're always undefined. A lot of people mix that up with horizontal lines. So let's talk about what's the slope of this horizontal line. Zero. Yes. So horizontal lines are always 0. The slope is 0. Okay. So horizontal 0, vertical is undefined. Okay. All right. So we took care of this one and we took care of this one. Okay. So I'm going to go to this line right here. Okay. So I see that I'm starting here and I'm going to draw I'll start here. I'm going to draw a little box. So I'm trying to see how much did I rise. So I rose 2 and I ran 1. So my slope is going to be, remember, slope is always rise over run. So I rose 2 over and I ran 1. So my slope for this guy here is 2. Good. Wonderful. Okay. Perfect. All right, let's check out this one. What do you guys think? So 2 is out now. What do you guys think about this line here? Is it, so let's highlight it. So we're talking about the yellow line here. Is it -7/3, -1/3, or 1/10? What do you guys say in the chat? Good. -7/3, -7/3. All righty. So how do we know? Okay, so let's say this is our first point. And then we're going to go, let's draw our triangle. So we go down. And then we're trying to get to here, okay? So down and over. So we're going to count how far we went down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we went down 7. So that means we're going -7. And then we're running how many to the positive? 1, 2, 3. And so our slope is going to be -7, because it's the rise, the fall, over the run, which is 3. Good job, you guys. Great job. All right. So what about this line right here, the line in purple? What do you guys say that slope is? So now you got a 50-50 chance. It's either -1/3 or 1/10. What do you guys say? Can you guys put it in the chat? Dim said -1/3 because the line is falling. Good. So you didn't even count the slope. You just know that it's a falling line. It's a negative line. And 1/10 is positive. Wonderful. Good, you guys. Yes. So if we look here and we go here, we're going down 1 and we're running 1, 2, 3. 3. So we're going to go down 1 over 3. Perfect. Good. And so we know this one here has to be 1/10. It's increasing. So this one here is 1/10. Wonderful. Good. All right, let's go. Let's jump to number 4. A point on the line 4x plus 3y equals b is 3, comma 2. What is the y coordinate for x equals 4? Alrighty, so we have an x and we have a y. Okay. We're going to substitute this in for our x and y, and we're going to solve for this b. Okay. So that's our first step. So here I have 3 for x. So I'm going to plug in 3 there. And then I have 2 for y. I'm going to plug in 2 here. So we're going to do 4 times, and remember, whenever you have a number attached to a letter, that's multiplied. That's why we're saying times. 3 plus 3 times our y, which is 2, equals b. So 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 times 2 is 6, equals b. So 12 plus 6 is 18, equals b. That's our very first step. So now that we know what b is, we can plug this in to here. And now they gave us our new x that we need to plug in. So we're going to do, keep it down here, 4x plus 3y equals 18. Well, they want us to find the y coordinate for when x equals 4. So that means we're going to plug in this 4 in for this x and solve for this y. So we get 4 times 4 plus 3y equals 18. All right. What do we do first? So Mike said B is our answer. Love it. Okay, let's see. 1/3. Okay. 4 times 4. Good. So we get 16 plus 3y equals 18. Okay. How do we solve for y? What do I have to do next? Okay. Somebody says C is the answer. Divide right. Subtract 16. Good. We can't divide first before we have to move this 16 first. Then we can divide. So we're going to do that by minusing 16 to both sides. Perfect. And I'm just going to move this up here. So 3y equals 18 minus 16 gives us 2. And then whenever you have a number attached to a variable, they're multiplied, so we have to undo that. So we're going to divide both sides by what's with the y, which is 3. And y equals, wonderful, 2/3. So if you said your answer was C, good job. Good. Good. All right, let's keep it pushing. All right, so on your GED test, you could come across one that says graph, okay? Graph this equation. So when you're graphing and they give it to you in slope-intercept form, we love this, okay? Because remember, this is called the B, which is called the y-intercept. So this is telling me where I need to start on my graph. Okay, so I start at 3 on my y-axis. So I'm going to go all the way down till I put C3. That's my first point right there. Now, can anybody tell me, where do I go next? What do I look to? What is this telling me to do next? Can anybody put it in the chat? Thank you for the follow. Thank you for sharing the live, you guys. Go down 4. Okay. Good. Down 4. Okay, so I'm going to go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, am I putting, and good, somebody said right 5. Yes, don't forget that right 5. because I'm not going to put a point right here. No. I'm going to go down 4 and to the right because it's a positive 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to put my point. And you only need 2 points to graph a line. So what this is your slope. Remember, our slope is rise over run. And so this is telling me to go down 4 and to the right, positive 5. And so we just connected. And that is our line. Good. Eve said, I remember this. Yep. Connecting the dots. Good. All right. Let's go to number 6. Which of the following points is on the line y equals 7x minus 4? Yeah, this is grade 9. But the GED is for the high school diploma. If you're trying to get your high school diploma, and you have to take the math test to pass. Oh, what happened to the -4 plotted? No, this is not telling us to graph a -4. What this is telling us is from our starting point to drop down 4 and then run a positive 5. See, your slope always tells you which direction you're running to, whereas your B, which is the y-intercept, tells you where to start. Great question. Yes, I only have math to get my GED, but slopes are difficult. Yep, that's why I'm doing this live. Yep, I understand the graphing and all that is really difficult. Starting point is... So the starting point is always the number that's not attached to the letter. Yep, you're so welcome. Great questions, you guys. Can everybody take a second to double tap their screen for me, please? Thank you. I see those hearts coming in. Thank you, everyone. I start my GED tomorrow. Glad I came across your live. Welcome, Autumn. Yes. All right, so let's look. So for this one, which of the following points is on the line? So I'm trying to think of what's the best way to do this. To be honest, what my brain is telling me to do is I'm going to guess a point and then I'm going to plug in. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Like if I was to guess, I would try maybe B. I'm going to just try B, okay? I'm going to start there. So what that means is this is an X and this is a Y. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the answer choices they gave me and I'm going to plug in. So I'm going to plug in my X here. And then I'm going to plug in this 31 for my Y. Okay. So I'm going to put 31 equals 7 times. Remember, whenever a number is attached to a variable, the operation is multiplication. So I do 7 times 5 minus 4. So now I'm going to drop down this 31. And I'm hoping after I do this math that this comes out 31. If it does, then this is my answer. So 7 times 5 is 35. And 35 minus 4 is 31. So 31 equals 31, which is a true statement. So B is my answer. Yep, Stephen said that's the answer. Good. So now let me show you where, like, let's say because I always guess C, okay? Whenever I'm taking a standardized test, if I don't know something, I'm going to go with C and I'm moving on, okay? That's what letter I always guess. Now you have to figure out, because when you have a time test, if you don't know something, you cannot waste time trying to figure out something you just don't know. It's okay not to know some stuff. It's okay. You only need, a 70 or 80% to pass? So they're giving you room to miss. But what people do is they waste time on stuff they don't know. And then the stuff that they could know, they don't have enough time to do. So don't be one of those test takers, okay? Use that test taking strategy. So let's say if I guess C, I'm going to show you why C is wrong. So X and Y, okay? I'm going to plug this 72 in for Y equals, and then I'm going to plug in this 11 for X. 7 times 11 minus 4. All right, so 7 times 11 gets us 77. 77 minus 4 gets us 73. Well, 72 does not equal 73. This is false. So, since this came out false, I know C is not an option. Hey, Cora. Thank you, Kelly, for the TikTok. Okay, does that make sense, everyone? Is there any questions on this? Haley, man. Oh, thank you. Okay, nope. Yes, totally. All right, let's keep it pushing. Okay, so. Okay, let's do number 7. Oh, how did you get the 31? Okay, so somebody asked, how did you get the 31? We got the 31 from doing 35 minus 4. So 35 minus 4 gives us 31. And how did we get the 31 over here? Well, they told us that the Y was 31, so we just plugged it in. Thank you for answering those questions. Okay. If you have a question, put it in there. This be the same as college math? Yes, this is the exact same as college math, depending on what college math you're in. So if you're in like an algebra college, yes, this is the same stuff. All right, so number 7. What is the equation for a straight line passing through these 2 points? All right, so when we're trying to write an equation, you guys, we first need to find the slope, okay? And how we find the slope is by doing the slope formula. We do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, okay? And remember, your points always consist of an x and a y. So we can name this x1, y1, and this is x2, y2, okay? So now we're going to plug in to that formula. So we named our y2 -3. So -3 minus, from the formula, our y1 is 5. Okay. Over x2 is 5 minus, from the formula, and our x1 is a -3. So we have to put those double negatives. If you forget a negative, it's going to throw off your entire answer. Okay. So -3 minus 5. Okay. Somebody borrowed $3 from you. They said, let me get 5 more. How much do they totally owe you? Can you guys put it in the chat? How much do they totally owe you? Thank you for the follows and the shares, you guys. 8. Good. -8. Yes, they owe us -$8. So we have to keep that negative because they're in the owing, right? Good. Now, a negative, when they touch, is always a what? What do we get when a negative and a negative? They change to a positive. Yes, so we can change these double negatives to a big positive. And then when we do 5 plus 3, we get an 8. So -8 divided by 8 gets us a -1. Just by us doing this slope here, We just eliminated two of our problems. A and B cannot be our answers because the slopes, we know our slope is negative. So it's either going to be C or D. Okay, so now we need to find our B. So how we do that is we're going to pick one point. You could choose this point or you could choose this point. It does not matter. You just have to make up your mind and go with it. I'm going to go with the first point. Okay, this is the point I'm choosing. And what you're going to use is y1 equals m times x1 plus b. This is called the slope-intercept form, okay? And why I'm writing y1 here is because I want you guys to understand that I'm going to plug in 5. I'm replacing y1 with 5. So I'm going to put 5 equals, we know our slope, which is -1, times our x1, which we named was -3. Okay, let me slow down a little bit. So what we just did is we replaced y1 for 5. We know our slope is -1, so we replaced the m with -1. And our x1 we said was -3, so we put that there. Okay. Now, let's simplify. Let's solve for B. So what do we have to do first? You guys, if we're solving this, what do we have to do first? Multiply. Okay, find B. Okay, so negative times a negative, like we said, is always a positive. So we have 5 equals 3 plus B. Okay, so now what do we do? Numbers on one side. Good. How do I get my numbers on one side? I see the 3. What do we do with the 3? -3. Wonderful. We have to subtract this 3 because this is a positive 3. So I'm going to rewrite it over here, you guys. Okay. So we're going to do 5 equals 3 plus B. And we're going to -3 minus 3. So we get B equals 5 minus 3 is a positive 2. All right. So we have our B and we have our M. We know it's negative, and now that we know our B is positive, we know our answer has to be C. Because it's a positive 2 that we found our B, and it's a -1, that's the slope. Okay. Any questions? This is a lot to try and remember. Yes. You don't want to really remember. You don't want to, it's too much to remember, especially if you got a whole test with all kind of different, this is just one concept on the math test. So you don't want to remember it. What you want to do is, it's hard to remember, but if you practice it, where it becomes like, I guess it is memory, huh? It's not memory, but it's steps. Like, okay, slope, solve for B. Slope, solve for B. Like if you break it down to where it's not like, okay, like if you know that you have to find the slope and you know how to find the slope, it's less steps to memorize. Because you say, okay, so what does slope mean? It's the change of the y's over the change over the x's, the differences of the x's. So that's one less thing. And then you just like this minus this, this minus this. You get your slope. And then you're using, yes, this is a lot of steps. I can't, it is. But the more you practice it, it becomes less like memorization and just like, okay, let me just do the steps. You know what I mean? So, and they always have one of these on the test. To be honest, they always have one of these. So, I mean, it's something that if you practice this enough, it'll come like, hopefully, memory. What is the equation for a line perpendicular? Okay, that's a huge word right there, you guys. Perpendicular, okay, to 6x minus 7y equals 8 and passing through the point 8, 1. Okay. So we need a point that's perpendicular to this, okay, and that passes through this point 8, 1. Does anybody know, like, do you have an answer? What are you guessing? A, B, C, D? Do I know anything about the ATI test? No, but I'll look into it. I usually do T's, HESI, GED, TSI, Acuplacer, things like that. 8X. No, C? Okay, I think it's either A, B. Right? They all look good to me. All right, so I'm trying to think of the easiest way to do this. All right, I don't know about an easy way, but I'm going to start off with step 1. I'm going to solve this equation for y, okay? So I'm going to solve 6x minus 7y equals 8 for y. And why I am doing this is because I need to know what the slope is of this equation. I don't know what the slope is yet. And the only way I can figure out what the slope is of this is if I have it in y equals mx plus b form. So, and somebody said, would you plug in? Yes, I would. I would plug in, but what if I plug in and then it works for 2 of the equations? Then I still have to do this step. So it's like, let me just do this step. So if I'm solving for y, I have to move this 6x to the other side, this positive 6x. How I move a positive 6x is I do the opposite. Subtract 6x to both sides. Okay, this cancels. So now I have negative 7y equals. These are not like terms. Do not combine these, you guys, and get some 2x. No, don't do that. You just drop them right next to each other horizontally. So we're going to write negative 6x plus 8, right? Now, remember, my whole goal is to get this y by itself. So whenever you have a number attached to a variable, they're multiplied. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 7. What we do to one side, we have to do to each and everything. Okay, so this cancels, and we get y equals. A negative divided by negative is always a positive. So we get 6 over 7x, and then minus 8 over 7, okay? The only thing we care about is this slope right here. And why we care about that is because of this word perpendicular, which says perpendicular means, remember, that's what we started with. If I want the perpendicular slope, I have to do the opposite sign. So since this came out a positive, I need a negative, and I have to do the flip of this. So the flip of this is 7 over 6. So right now, I know just by saying that this is 6 over 7, that B is not an option and D is not an option. Now it's either A or C. That is my answer. Okay, because I could see clearly right here, negative 7 over 6 is the perpendicular slope. But if I solve this, this could also be. So now somebody said, well, can't we plug in the point and see which one is correct? Yes, we can. So now, since I think A is our answer, I'm going to plug in this x and y. So I'm going to plug in, just to check, I'm going to plug in 8 for the x, and I'm going to plug in this 1 for the y. And if it works, then I know this is the answer. If it doesn't work, then I know this has to be the answer. So I'm going to plug in 1 for y. 1 equals -7/6 times 8 plus 31/3. Ooh, this is ugly. This is real ugly, you guys. All right. So we have 1 equals -7 times 8 gets us -56, I want to say. 8 times 8 is 64 minus 8. Yeah, 56. So it's 56/6, okay, plus 31/3. All right. Okay, this is intense, y'all. Thank you. Thank you. You put 56 in there. Somebody said it's C. Okay. So I'm just going to make sure. So if I want this, remember when you add fractions, we have to have the same denominator. So if this is 6, what do I have to multiply this top and bottom by to make this 6? Somebody said, oh my goodness, thank goodness I don't have to do this anymore, right? It's intense. 2. Okay, good. So I multiply this by 2. Now, again, remember, I'm doing this without a calculator. Remember, only 5 of the problems on the GED is non-calculator, or like 5 or 6. I forgot how many exact. And then the rest you get to calculator. So you would just plug this bad boy into a calculator. So somebody said it's 62/6. Thank you. So we get 62/6 plus -56/6 equals 1. So we get 6/62 minus 56. Can somebody tell me what that is? 5? Somebody said 5. 6/6? Yep. It's 6. 62 minus 56 is 6. And 6 divided by 6 is 1. And so 1 equals 1. A is our answer. It is not this guy. It's not C. 5 questions without calc. Oh, thank you. So it is, yeah, it is 5. I was like, is it 6, 7? I know it's like small. So yeah, 5 questions without a calculator. No worries. Calculate wrong now so that when you go on that test, you calculate correctly. So good. Yep. You make the mistakes now while we practicing. Learn from them. Then beast mode on that exam. All right. Good. But okay, so let's talk about this, right? If this was the test I was taking, as soon as I got this, you guys, to be honest, as soon as I saw this, I would have just went with A. I would not have taken the time to do this step. I would have went with A and prayed and said, take the wheel, okay? I hope this is right because like you don't have time to be doing every single step to make sure you're right. You see this, you go with your best guess, boom, and move on. So it saves your time for other problems that you're going to need more time on, or that you could easy little points that you can get to, okay? So no way will we do that other step. We would just stop there. As soon as we saw the match, we will move on, okay? Okay, let's look at number 9. Given the line 5x minus 4y equals 9, give the equation of a line parallel and passing through 9, 5. All right, so we're looking for parallel. So let me tell you, parallel, we're looking for the same slope. So if we're looking for the same slope, you guys, Without doing any math, I'm looking for this to match in these equations. And does anybody see which one, this box right here, does anybody see a matching one with A, B, C, or D? Yes, you can. Oh, I love that question. Can you do this on a graph? Yes, but if they didn't give you a graph to do it on, because sometimes, like most people take this on the computer, if they didn't give you a graph, then, and you have scratch paper, like it gets confusing when you just have that white scratch paper and you don't have this graphing paper to like actually graph it, and see the line. Plus, I think that would take too much time. Good. So people are saying CC. Okay. This is, look, you guys, I have a positive 5x, positive 5x. I have a minus 4y, a minus 4y. Since these are the exact same, C is my answer. They have to have the same slope. Versus here, this is not the same as this. See, because this is 4x, this is 5x. This does not match. This is 9x, 5x. They do not match. Now, D has a 5x, 5x. But the problem is it gave you a positive 4 where this one was a negative. So C is the only one that is correct. And that's the trick that they want you to understand. They don't want you to take all this time solving it, trying to figure out what the same slope. No, they want you to notice if it says parallel, this is the beautiful thing about parallel. It's much easier than perpendicular. If it says parallel, you're looking for this side to match. Never this. Never the 9 and 25. That doesn't matter. Only this part does. Okay? And we done with that. We moving on. So this is like a 2-second problem versus the other problem was taking us a little bit longer, right? So good. That's where you get your time back for other problems to come on your test. Good, Miss Lady. Good. All right, so let's go to 10. What is the slope of a line perpendicular to this? All right, here we go. Perpendicular. So first, yes, I do tutor. And I tutor at impactmath19@gmail.com. Okay. Yep. Email me. I charge $35 an hour, just to let you know off top. All right. So does anybody know which one is the slope? So we're getting D. We're getting D. So just tell me what's the slope of this equation. 4x. Good. 4. Perfect. So this is my slope here. 4. All right. What is every whole number have? Like, what can I divide every whole number by? Does anybody know? Good. Somebody said 4/1. Yes, there's always an imaginary 1. And that's under every whole number. Okay, you guys? It's every whole number. There's always an imaginary 1 down there. So if we have to write the perpendicular slope, remember there's 2 conditions. If this is a positive, this has to be a what? A negative. Good. That's the first condition. So now we have a negative. The second condition that we have to do is what? Does anybody know? What do we have to do to this? Flip. Yes. There you go. Flip it. Reciprocal. Even beautiful, more beautiful. Use that vocab. 1/4. So our perpendicular slope is C. Those who said D were close, but the problem is you didn't flip this. So you got the opposite sign, but you never flipped it. Oh, thank you, Miss Lady. Good. Yep. So perfect, you guys. All right. Okay. How many more we got? We got some more graphing coming up. Okay. And then that's it. Okay. Conversions I'm gonna do sometime. I'm gonna do some conversions for my HESI nursing students. But we got a couple of more pages of geometry. All right. So why do you have to flip it? I don't get it. Okay, so that's a part of the requirements in order for it to be perpendicular. See, in order for it to be perpendicular, you need to meet two conditions. One, opposite signs. And the second is called, well, you're flipping the number, which is called reciprocal. Ooh, I'm not the best speller, you guys. Somebody put it in the chat, reciprocal, okay? That's why I'm a math teacher, not English, okay? So you have to do it's called a reciprocal. Reciprocal, am I spelling that right? I don't know. Thank you, you guys. You guys are awesome. RECIPRO. And then C without this I. CAL. Thank you. Reciprocal. Thank you. Thank you, Erlong. Is that my math teacher that I'd be loving up on here? I think he'd be doing math too. Check him out. All right. Okay, so that's why, hun. It's because we have to do two. It has to meet this first step, opposite signs, okay? And then the second step is flipping, which is called the reciprocal. Flip it. Oh, thank you, Kettle. Thank you. All right, number 11. Which of the equations below is that of a line with the slope of 3/5 and passing through 0, 4? Okay. So, okay. What do you guys think? A, B, C, or D? Oh, Whiskey going into geometry this school year? Wonderful. Good luck on those proofs. I used to be like super afraid of them, and then you just hopefully you get a great teacher that can break them down. C, C, B, C. Okay, so you guys are saying here. Okay. Good. So B and C, I can see why you guys are going for B and C. I can see that. Okay, well, we know, okay, this is what we do know. We know 0, 4, I shouldn't say we know. 0, 4 is called the y-intercept, okay? This is the y-intercept. So what this is telling me, when I write y equals mx plus b, that this is my b, okay? And why this is my b is because a y-intercept is when the x is 0 and you can have any number for the y. That's how you know it's called a y-intercept. When x is 0 and any number you can have for the y. So I'm going to plug in 4 for this b because this is a y-intercept. They also told me that my slope right here is 3/5. Okay, so I know slope means m. So my m is 3/5. So I'm going to plug this in. 3/5x plus, and then y equals 3/5 x plus 4. Now the problem is I have this in slope-intercept form, and they have it in standard form. This is called standard form, you guys, okay? Kind of. These are not in standard form. This the only one in standard form, okay? So now what I want to do is I first want to get rid of this fraction, okay? Does anybody know how to get rid of this 5 in the bottom? What can we do to get rid of this 5 in the bottom? So what you have to understand is this symbol means division. So division, if we're doing the opposite of division, we're going to multiply. Good. Yes, that's what I wanted to see. We are going to multiply because we're going to do the opposite of division. So we're going to multiply by 5. And I'm just going to multiply by 5 to every single thing. Okay, so I'm going to multiply 5 here, multiply 5 here, multiply 5. So I get 5y equals, these 5's cancel out, and I'm left with 3x plus 4 times 5 gets me 20. Yes, baby? Where's your other shoe? Yeah. I don't know. Can you go ask your sisters? Go ask your sisters. Huh? Okay, mommy's online. I'm almost done, okay? Okay, thank you. Okay, so the other side, you guys, how do I move this positive 3x to the other side? Subtract 3x? Good, yes. So I'm going to subtract 3x to both sides. Okay. And again, these are not like terms. No, no, no. So we do not combine these. We just write them right next to each other. So 5y minus 3x equals 20. And see how this is the same as that. Okay. But literally, we did not have to do this part, right? As soon as we multiplied everything by 5 and saw this 20, this 5y, this is the only thing that had a 20 in it. And we circle it and move on. Save your time for the next question on the test. All right, number 12. What is the equation of a line passing through the point 3, 7 and 2, -4? Okay, so this was like that other problem. So can anybody tell me what is our first step that we're going to do for this equation? What do we have to find first? Slope. Good. We're cash. Yes. Slope. Yes. The x, nah, the y, nah. See, we can't find the y first without finding, we need, good, yes. Elon Musk gave us the formula. You guys gave us a formula. Good. We're going to find our slope first. And we do that by doing the changes in the y2 minus y1 over the change in the x. The difference is in the x. So we're going to name this x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay. So our y2 is -4 minus our y1 is 7 over our x2 we said was 2 minus from our formula our x1 is 3. Oops, should have put this as a 1. This is a 1. Okay. Okay, go ahead. So now -4 minus 7 gets us a -11 over 2 minus 3 gets us a -1. Okay. So a negative divided by a negative is always a positive. So just by me knowing this slope has to be a positive 11, I'm crossing out A and B. I just gave myself a 50-50 chance. So if you got, yep, positive, yes, good. So if you got a 50-50 chance, I mean, like it's like seconds, at least you can guess, guess on it and go, if this lasts, at least you're in a, you gave yourself a 50-50 chance. So now we have this. All right, now I need to find my B. And how I do that is I do y1 equals m times my x1 plus my B. Okay. And me personally, I always use my x1, y1, but you can use any point you want. It does not matter. You have to just make up your mind which one you're going to use and go and do it, okay? So somebody said it's C. Ooh, somebody said it's D. Ooh, we got two different ones. Okay. So we're going to plug in 7 for Y. I know my M is 11 times my X1 is 3 plus B. Okay. You can do it. You can do it. Antoinette, don't give up. I understand the frustration. I'm telling you guys, I understand. When I was trying to pass my praxis, that math too, it took me like a few times. And I'm like, hold up. I just got a whole bachelor's degree in math. Like, what are you saying right now? But remember, this is a test. They make money off of people. So don't give up. You can do it. How did you get the positive 11? By doing negative 11 divided by negative 1. See, okay, so 11 times 3 gets us 33 equals to 7 plus B. Now we want this B by itself, so I have to move this positive 33 to the other side. What's the opposite of positive? Subtract. Subtract 33. And so it says B equals 7 minus 33. Well, let's not even think about it, right? We already have it. So we have $7 in our bank account. We spent 33. Yes, we in the negative, okay? Negative 26. C is our answer. Remember, this is just one problem on the test. You don't need 100% to pass. You do not need 100% to pass. So if this is one problem where you like, I'm going to guess every time and keep it pushing, that's the one problem that you guess on and you keep it pushing. There's nothing wrong with guessing on a few problems that you's like, I just know I'm just not, this is too much time for me. Okay? That's a part of test strategies. Thank you for the roses. Thank you. Thank you. So it says for the first part, what about the first part? How we get the slope? Is that what you're asking? Thank you so much for the roses. Yes, I post all my lives on YouTube, and I also started doing mini targeted lessons for the GED, ASVAB, HESI, on my YouTube, like mini shorts. Like, so if you're struggling with just this, I'll do a mini lesson on this with 5 problems that you could just work yourself through. Targeted, like specifics. If you're just struggling with slope. So yeah. What is your YouTube? My YouTube is Impact Math 19. And it's in my profile too. Thank you so much for the roses. Yep. So Impact, yep, right here. It says Impact Math 19 on YouTube for more. Okay. And I always post all my lives like the next day. So somebody asked what grade this is. This is 9th grade math. Algebra 1. Thank you so much for the roses. All right, let's get some graphing, okay? So the last time we graphed where they gave us the y equals mx plus b4, okay? This is standard notation. So when they give us standard notation, you guys, we want to set it up a little bit different, okay? And we're going to use x-intercept and y-intercept, okay? So whenever you're trying to do the x-intercept, you make the y equals to 0. So we're going to plug in 0 for y, okay? So we're going to do 5x minus 4 times 0 equals negative 20. Well, negative 4 times 0 just goes to 0. So we have 5x equals negative 20. How do we get x by itself? Oh, congratulations. Somebody said they passed the math test yesterday. Super excited about it. Man, congratulations. I know that feeling like, whoo, when I just finally passed and like all the endless possibilities. Yay, congrats. Divide, divide. Good. So we're going to divide by 5. And we get x equals negative 20 divided by 5 is negative 4. So remember, we're going to look on the x-axis for negative 4. That's our first point. So negative 4 is right here. Okay. Now let's find the y-intercept. And how you find the y-intercept is you make x equals 0. Okay. So we're going to plug in 0 for the x. So we're going to leave this back to y though. So we're going to do 5 times 0 minus 4y equals negative 20. Okay. Okay, so 5 times 0 just goes to 0. So we're left with negative 4y equals negative 20. How good. Lillian said divide both sides by negative 4. Oh, somebody said they can't see? Thank you. I'll be forgetting how wide this thing is. Good. Somebody said my camera's not centered. Okay, so we're going to divide both sides by negative 4. Negative 4, okay? So we get y equals negative 20 divided by negative 4 gets us 5. So now we have y equals 5, okay? So we're going to go to on our y-axis. So I'm going to have to bring it back over here to our graph. And we're going to find 5 on the y, which is right here. And remember, you only need 2 points to graph a line. So we connect these 2 points. And this is our equation. Okay. Love it. My favorite math. All right. So sorry, I did have to go over. I couldn't fit it all. Okay. So let's go to 14. Let's go to 14, you guys. Okay. And I'm going to have to be like going back and forth. I know it's, right? So graph the equation of a straight line that passes through negative 1, 3 and has a slope of negative 3. Okay, so our point is negative 1, 3. Our slope, remember, is m, which is negative 3. Okay, so I'm going to move this over. So we got all our information. So the first thing we want to do is we want to plot this point. Okay, remember, this is your x, this is your y. So my x is telling me I go left negative 1, and then I'm going to go up 3. So I'm going to start at 0. I'm going to go left negative 1, and I'm going to go up 3. That's my first point. Now, from this point, what does my slope tell me to do? Can somebody tell me in the chat? What is my slope telling me to do? Like what direction? Okay, down, go down. Good. Go left 3. Okay, go over 3. I'm looking for what my whole slope is telling me to do. And what I mean by that is, remember, slope is rise over run, you guys. So my slope has to be a rise, and I have to do a run. Down 3, left 1. All right, so remember, good, down 3, right 1. Okay, every whole number is over 1, right? So if I'm going to go down 3, this is a positive 1. I have to go to the right 1. So from here, I'm going to count down 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to go one to the left. One to the right. Sorry. And then I'm going to do it again. You really don't have to do it again. You only need 2 points. But let's just practice. So from this point, I'm going to go down 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to go 1 to the right. Oh, it's all good. Sometimes we get it. Sometimes we don't. It's a learning. So as long as we learning, we gonna get it. So M is Y over X. Yes, M is Y over X. Yes. Good. And that's our line, you guys. All righty. That is all the GED problems that I have for tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Is this in 8th grade? I believe this is in 8th grade. I don't know if they do standard form in 8th grade. Yeah, I'm sure they do. Graphing is in 8th grade though. Thank you, Tamu and Juan, for the roses. Thank you so much. This most definitely is in 9th grade. So if you're going into 9th grade, you will be doing this at one point, okay? Have a wonderful night, you guys. I will catch you on the next live. Bye, everyone.